happening? Now I can share my screen. One more second, I promise. Thank you, Justin. I just need to mute it and then we're good. Okay. Okay, we're off to the races. Welcome to graduation night, everyone. This is a combined daytime and after hours graduation. I think it was at least 6 months ago since we had one of those. So we like parties here. So basically, we invited everyone we know tonight. Everyone is here. Our real guests of honor, though, are the students who have spent 3 to 6 months with us, depending on which program they are in. They have earned certificates of completion in either C#, JavaScript, or data analytics and engineering with Python, and have all become some pretty badass developers in the process. We know the time and effort that it takes to get here, and we are here to celebrate this accomplishment and the exciting new paths you are all about to embark on. We know you didn't do it alone. I'm hoping you got your fan clubs cheering you on at home. I can see that live stream counter grow, so I know they are. We've got a ton of GC staff here in the audience who couldn't be more proud of you. We have a ton to get through tonight, so let's just dig right in. So the run of show tonight is right here. I hope we can check the welcome off the list. I hope everyone feels welcome. We truly are happy to have you here. We have a bunch of folks in the audience who want to say congrats and tell you about the different ways that you can stay connected to Grand Circus. We are not kicking you out the door with graduation. You are part of the family now. So we're going to go over some ways to keep in touch and keep doing what you're doing with us. So then we're going to give some superlative awards. Back in the day, you got some Sharpie written on a paper plate. Tonight, we're going to give you a slide of an award chosen by your instructor. And then we'll turn it over to the students for the reason we're all here, the final project demos. If you don't know much about Grand Circus final projects, students are put into random groups, and in very short order, they have to either come up with an idea or they're assigned a project, and then they have 2 to 4 weeks to collaboratively build that project. Could you do that? I know I couldn't. So we're here to watch our very impressive students and see what they've built. We have 12 groups presenting tonight, so it is going to be an action-packed night. Buckle up. Okay, it is time for me to pass the mic to our first congratulator. I would like to introduce Grand Circus's Director of Learning, Brian Benham, who has a few words for our graduating class.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be at these graduations. In fact, I'm sure I speak for everybody from Grand Circus and say that this is what we look forward to, right? All the struggle, all the effort, come to the graduation. We really love to see everybody be successful. And this is the first step in a long journey, but a very important step. So let me be the first to say congratulations, and that you should all take just a moment and reflect on your journey here. So you either started 3 months ago or 6 months ago, and just imagine where you started, how much of programming you could actually do, your thoughts about what you'd be able to accomplish. And in that period of time, short though it may be, you've actually come a long way and are now able to develop a fully functional web app from scratch. So congratulations to everybody on that. You should be very proud. So I think a round of applause for all the students here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm responsible for the team that basically runs the educational experience that you have. So all the instructors and TAs, who I think deserve a little bit of congratulations to get everybody through, of course. Our program managers, Billy and team, and them helping each and every student through, kind of give you your personalized experience. And then, of course, there's behind the scenes our managers, our curriculum manager, our instructional manager, and Billy, who also serves as a manager for program management. But you had a big team behind you supporting you, and we are also very proud of you. So I just wanted to mention two things. First of all, of course, congratulations, enjoy your success. But you know, it doesn't end here, and your participation with Grand Circus never ends because once you join the circus, you're always part of the circus. And I know Elizabeth will speak a little bit about how we're going to stay connected with you. You can always come back for assistance. We're always here for you. We want you to succeed. But just know that your journey going forward is going to be one of continuous learning, continuous stretching of your skills, and we're here to help you with that. So I don't want you to feel like just because you've graduated, you've ended your education. You've really just begun. That's an exciting beginning. So with that said, I will again say congratulations, and I believe I'm handing it off to Elizabeth, right, Billy? Or someone from Career Services, I believe.
Yes, Elizabeth should be here.
Yep. Hi,
Ah, there we
everyone. My name is Elizabeth Heaton.
go.
I am the Director of Career Services and Alumni Relations here at Grand Circus. I am responsible for overseeing the entire Career Services department, and now our alumni department as well, which is the department that you will all be working with after tonight. So a little bit about what comes with the alumni services here at Career Services. Everything that you received for career services up until this point is everything that you will also receive as an alumni. So you have resources to all of the career services staff. So if you worked with Laura or if you worked with Shauna, you will continue working with them after graduation for as long as you want to. After that, you'll set up a cadence with them to check in with you. So sometimes that's weekly, sometimes that's twice a week. It just depends on how much you want to be held accountable for your job search. I know that we have a few that are not job seeking. That does not mean that you don't receive career services after graduation. You're able to receive those career services for life. So say that, you know, you're happy and content in your position right now. That's great. In 12 months, you might be looking for a raise, and that career services is here for you as well. So we're able to help you navigate the negotiation letters, different types of promotional letters that you might receive. We're here for you for that as well. And with that being said, I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you for all of the hard work that you have put in over the last couple of months or the long term of the last 6 months that you've all been working towards this goal. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So just remember that coding is a lifelong journey. We have a couple alumni here that will probably echo the sentiments of making sure that you continue to code. You don't want to stop the fingers to keyboard mentality. You always want to continue working on that code. And if you have any questions along the way, please make sure to reach out to our team. Billy, am I turning it over to Laura?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, here's Laura.
Okay, wonderful. Well, just want to echo, first of all, what Elizabeth shared. Huge congratulations to all of you. I'm so excited for you all. I know these last few weeks are a lot. I can definitely speak at least for my daytime folks who I think you were probably just dreading when you saw my name come in your Slack and saw me bugging you for the 10th time about your resume or your LinkedIn. I promise I do it because I care, and I am just so excited to get you onto the finish line and get you looking awesome for your potential future employers. So again, I know it was a lot. I usually joke and say it's kind of like that final lap of Mario Kart. I know I usually visualize Rainbow Road and red shells and banana peels and all the things coming at you, but you made it. You're here. Congratulations. So Elizabeth mentioned the alumni services that we provide. So one of the additional ways that we support you all is through a program called Mastermind. So you may have heard of something called Mastermind before. It's not exclusive to GC, It's broadly defined as peer-to-peer mentoring and networking, usually folks coming together for a shared problem or to reach a shared goal with input and advice from the collective group. So for our purposes, we've adapted mastermind groups to be exclusive for GC alumni who are job seeking. So you all can connect and share your experiences of what it's like navigating the job market. So a couple just pointers here. This is not an extension of soft skills. It's not career coaching. We're certainly happy to provide all of that. And we, certainly will work with all of you one-on-one for any career coaching you'd like. But this is really about group accountability, sharing resources with one another and learning from each other's experiences. Career services is really just there to bring it all together and facilitate it. We kind of take that back seat and let you all learn from one another and, kind of just support each other in the process. So we do have 2 upcoming sessions. They are 4 meetings each. So will be a commitment for 4 back-to-back weeks. So the first one's starting on July 24th, and that one will be on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and go through August 14th. So again, 4 meetings total. Or you can sign up for Thursdays at the lunchtime hour from 12 to 1 starting August 1st. So again, both of those will be available. If you would like to sign up, all you have to do is send me a Slack message and I'll get you where you need to be. And I think that's everything from Mastermind. So one other resource that we have to support you is a fairly new program that we've created called Technical Interview Prep. We have monthly, what we call jam sessions, as well as an active Slack channel where you can find resources and support to help you get ready for that specific facet of the job search that I know a lot of people get pretty nervous about. I know I've heard from a number of you about as well through some of our one-on-ones, which is, of course, the technical interview or coding challenges or all those type of things that you may experience throughout the interview process. Now, a side note, I wanted to give just a little context for this picture because I think it's really funny. But of course, all of you know that the HR interview is also very important. It is not a easy breezy experience either. So this is a little tongue in cheek, but we definitely wanted to make sure that we were providing some additional support and resources to the scary technical interview. So that is another thing that if you're interested, please just reach out to me. You can send me a Slack message and I can add you to our channel. We do have an upcoming jam session. So it's actually on the first day of one of our mastermind sessions on Thursday, August 1st. That'll be from 1 to 2. So if you just want to knock out, have a mastermind, have a technical jam session, and you'll be rocking and rolling in your job search, which will be awesome. Even if you can't make that session, however, I would still encourage you to reach out to me if you're interested so I can get you into the channel. We have more asynchronous type of activities we do, such as different coding challenges that I'll post to the group and have people kind of share their process and talk through any roadblocks and that sort of thing. So just a lot of really great chatter to get you all ready for the technical side of your job search. All right. And then last but not least from me, so now I have the pleasure of introducing our alumni speaker for today, which side note, we do have a very robust alumni program. So if you ever are interested in coming back to Grand Circus as either a mentor or alumni ambassador, or maybe you just aren't sure how you want to get connected with us, but you'd like to re-engage, you can always reach out to us. So feel free to reach out to Elizabeth, or of course, while she's out, please feel free to reach out to myself or Shauna, and we would be more than happy to chat with you and see how we can, include you in some of our things that we have going on with our students. But tonight I'll be introducing Brian. So Brian is a graduate from our JavaScript boot camp, I believe it was back in April 2023. And I know he just started a brand new role as a data analyst for advanced plumbing and heating supply, which Brian, I think it was a few days ago, maybe if not a week ago. So I'm sure you'll have a great story to share with us. I'll also add he is our resident LinkedIn influencer poster extraordinaire. I love to see his posts. They always give me a chuckle. So I encourage you to connect with him and follow him as well. So with that, I won't hold back any longer from turning it over to Brian. I know he's got some great feedback and advice he'll share with all of you. So Brian, we're excited to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Sounds like you're sick, probably sick from meeting up with me so many times during the last 3 months here. But yeah, I just started a new role here with Advanced Plumbing Supply. I was a data analyst, but I've had Through actually two different roles in the last year. So that kind of maybe speaks to my tenacity. But as an IT consultant, so I did a bit of work consulting with manufacturing jobs in the Microsoft suite. So I have, C Sharp familiarity. I also did some e-commerce development, but so you're stuck with me tonight. Unfortunately, no, Nobel Peace Prize winners or actors. But I am have a pretty lengthy journey here. Kind of just a brief history for me. I started off doing retail work for much of my early career. Didn't find any satisfaction in that, so fast forward to about 2 years ago, I decided to take a boot camp at the suggestion from another alumni, and kind of the rest is history. So, and if it's any consolation for LinkedIn, I post a lot of nonsense, and I still got hired. So, if you want meme content, I guess I can provide you with that. But, piece of advice that I can give you all is build your network, use LinkedIn, use all your social media, um, and post regularly. People who post on LinkedIn tend to get hired faster than people who don't. Build meaningful connections, because those are the people who are going to remember you when you want to find a job. So do that. And after boot camp, I know a lot of you are probably burnt out from your final projects, but continue to build in public, post about it on LinkedIn. Um, I know a ton of people who've gotten hired just from their technical knowledge and posting what they learned on a project. Try to avoid using YouTube tutorials, build an original project. You will more than likely learn faster by failing first. You're going to learn from your errors and it's going to help you in the long run anyway. So those are kind of just some of my quick tips. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll drop my URL in the chat, but happy that you guys are all graduating. Very happy for you. And that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Brian. Everyone else is giving the warm, fuzzy congrats. You're giving practical advice here to our students. So I know this is a party, but I hope you students took some notes there. That was some good advice. Okay, let's move on. Brian, please feel free to stay for the final projects if you want to see what these students have made, but I know you're a busy man. We're very happy to hear your words. Okay, let's do some paper plate awards. Like I said at the top, these are superlative awards warmly chosen by your instructors based on your time with them in class. I'll introduce the daytime instructors and after hours PMs if you want to introduce your peeps when they come up on the slide, that would be great. Let's get started with daytime C#. We have Justin and Ethan. You guys ready?
Yep, I'm ready. All right. So first up, we have Claire, who I'm calling the teamwork champion. Next up, we're gonna have Ben, who I'm calling the next GC TA.
Ooh, look out, Ethan.
Next up, we have Ramses, who I'm calling the quiet powerhouse. Then we have Ramsey, who I'm saying put in the work and put in the hours. Then we have Kira, our class spy. Watch out, the other class. Then we have Jack, who I'm going to call the silent achiever. Then we have Victoria with the best Jackbox answer. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. Then we have Pedro with getting the bigger picture. Then we have Cheetan, the late start, joining our boot camp pretty much right at the last set of lectures and doing perfectly fine.
Chitan also just joined graduation a couple minutes ago, so he's doing fine. Welcome, Chitan.
Thank you,
Okay. Next up, let's give a round of applause for our C# students. Thank you, Justin. That was great. We have Andrea and James from Daytime JavaScript. Are you guys ready?
Ready. All right, first up, we have Tyler who gets class clown. You are a joy to have in class, Tyler, for your jokes and your enthusiasm. Just so everyone knows, he pranked me really bad one day in class and edited the HTML on a website, so I thought he got charged $600 from Firebase. I almost had a heart attack. So
Wow.
keep up the jokes, keep people laughing, Tyler, and keep up the good work. Very proud of you. Next up, we have Nick, who gets made it look easy. Nick, you always had something up your sleeve, and you even schooled us a few times with your math and coding skills. So nice job. Can't wait to see where you go from here. Next up, we have Yulia, who gets star student. Yulia, you had a great attitude. You asked the most thoughtful questions, and you were just generally such a pleasant person. It was a pleasure having you in class, and your next coding job is going to be very lucky to have you. And last but not least, we have Manogna, who gets hustles harder. We saw you working on the weekends, working on all those projects. You just learned Three.js this past weekend, and it's been such a delight to see that. And I know that your hard work will pay off very soon. So very proud of all of you. We both are, and keep in touch. Congrats, guys.
Okay, round of applause for our small and mighty JavaScript daytime class. Next up, James and Dylan from Daytime DataPie. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
Okay.
First off, for my first award, it's actually a twofer. I've got MVP Tag Team, and that award goes to Joel Sardavar and Audrey Warner. You two knocked it out of the park this semester, or this cohort. Not only did you do amazing individually, but combined together, you guys were a force of domination. So excellent job. Loved having you in the program. Best of luck. Next up, I've got most likely to start the next tech startup here. I've got Brianna Browning. Best of luck. You've done great as well. Thank you so much. For my hustles harder, I've got Alakia. She's been absolutely great to have inside the cohort. A super hard worker. Thank you so much, Alakia. For most improved award, I've got Osman Naeem. I hope that you take what you've learned in this cohort and really run with it. Continue your studies. You've done great thus far. Best of luck to you as well. For Silent Assassin, I've got Riley. Riley, you were a pleasure to have in class. I know you're a really bright guy, though sometimes you're a little bit quiet, so people might not always recognize it. But you are definitely one of the best and brightest amongst us. So great job, Riley. Next, we've got Brian Levsk. Brian, great job. Loved having you as well. You get the Problem Solver Award. Absolutely phenomenal to have during the course of the cohort. Thanks so much, Brian.
And that's it for our Daytime DataPie class. Let's give our daytime students a round of applause.
All right, so congratulations, daytime students. So good evening, everyone. I'm Charlene Donaldson, one of the after hours program managers, and I am delighted to introduce our after hour boot camp JavaScript class that was instructed by Matt Fanto and Henry Overvault. And I'll pass it over to you two gentlemen to introduce our dynamic duo that's graduating tonight out of the JavaScript class.
Hey, everyone. So our first award goes to Maya for our design champ. She did a fantastic job on the final project and styling. It's one of the best that I've seen. So congratulations, Maya, for all your work on that. And then Greg for building the back end and all of your hard work on learning databases, Firebase functions, and getting those functions deployed to the cloud.
All right, so congratulations after our JavaScript.
As I mentioned, that was a dynamic duo of Maya and Gregory. And next, we have our C#.NET class that was instructed by Scott Tremaine and Cassie Sullen. Take it away, gentlemen.
Oh, excuse me. All righty. First up, we have Kevin, the CSS champion. In the projects that he has worked on, he has taken on the CSS role for the applications, and they've always come out really well. Nice job, Kevin. Madeline is the GitHub guru. She is the one that has helped out many times with the other students with GitHub. She might use Force a little too often, but she's very sharp with GitHub, and so so she gets the GitHub guru. Zach is best attitude and probably the nicest guy you will ever meet. When he calls you in for a question, he's always like, "Hey, I'm sorry for bothering you. I think I did something wrong." Very modest. And when you help him out, he's very thankful. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for that. So great job, Zach. Best attitude and just a great guy all around. All right, best coworkers. This is a twofer as well. It goes to Jessica and to Vicky. When these two were together for a project with just the two of them, they just knocked it out. I was impressed. They would work over the weekend. They would, come back and they had all the stuff done. So they worked really, really well together. I was super impressed with both of those. Jared, Jared hustles harder than anyone I know. Even for this final project, when there was a suggestion that they use a technology that was not taught, I was like, well, you know what? I haven't taught that. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not super strong with it. And Jared's like, I don't care. I'm going to learn it. And he spent the entire weekend, and it'll pay off when you see their presentation. You'll see that his hustle definitely paid off. Kyle is the most improved. In the beginning, it seemed Kyle struggled quite a bit, but he was great. He asked questions, right? He didn't give up on anything. If I know he reached out to Kaz a couple times for some tutoring, and he's done great. Now he's a solid developer, and he does great work. And finally, Wan Chu. I was a little worried about Wan Chu in the beginning because she was so quiet. I would ask Cass, do you think she's getting it? I don't know. But then she would turn in a lab, and not only did she ace it, but she aced all of the extra stuff. And then she threw some new stuff in there on her own. And ever since then, every time she turned something in, it was just like I was looking forward to seeing what new stuff she added that wasn't even part of the requirements. And Vicky is the second part of that, the best coworkers. With her and Jess together, those two are a power team. And I believe they work at the same company. So if anybody's at that company is listening, you definitely want to pair these two together in the future.
All right. Next up, we have our after hours data pi class, and that was instructed by our friend Reza Rad, who's going to do the paper plates awards.
Hey everyone. Really excited for my students. It was a really great class, and congrats to all of you before I go through these paper plates. So to start off, Clay Parker, the Silent Assassin. This was not only because he was on the quieter side, but also because his smile gave everything away. So I could tell if he got something or if he thought my joke was good by his smile. Cole Jenkins got the cool cucumber. Just thought that it was the way he always was excited about things. It was cool to see that passion for all the different things that we were doing. For Haley, I did Gets It because I felt like throughout the course, she kind of just got it, which was cool. And it was cool to see. So congrats. We got class dad for Rodrigo. I felt like the vibe he gave in the class was a very nice, like enjoyable vibe. I felt like I never had any interactions that didn't feel like comfortable and nice. So Thank you, Rodrigo. And for Jay, I did Make It Look Easy. I felt like I feel like one of the previous instructors said this. I wasn't sure if he was getting things or if he was picking up on things, and then yeah, I'd see the results and I'd be like, oh, clearly you got it. Whatever you're doing, it's working. And for Janita, I got the virtual background veteran. I feel like throughout the 6 months, I got to learn a lot about different things that I didn't know about. Tried guessing them a bunch of times and was completely off. So that was a very fun thing to have. And I think that's it for my class. Congrats.
That's it. That's it for everybody. Let's give our big whole group of students a round of applause for paper plates. Students, I know you didn't come here for paper plates. You came here for your certificates of completion. 15 minutes ago, those were all emailed to you, so you should have those in your inbox. Congratulations, everybody. You have made it. You are Grand Circus graduates. If anybody has any misspellings or wrong names or anything on your certificates, it's my fault. Just get at me. We will change that ASAP. Start posting those on LinkedIn. Start using those certificates. Congrats, everyone. I am going to, oops, I got one more slide. Sorry. I'm going to share one more time. It was worth it for that slide. So we are now going to hand it over to the students for final project demos. Like I said at the top, we have 12 groups presenting tonight. We are looking to keep everyone on track to have 5-minute demos, but we do encourage participation from the audience. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and as soon as our presenting students can get to them, they will continue that dialogue. So, okay. I did post the order earlier to students, and we have Corey and Charlene moderating. Yeah. Is our first group ready?
Yes. Corey, did you want to introduce them?
I shall. Give me 1 second. All right, my friend. So our first group is Jules and Audrey from our Data Pi daytime class. I was going to say after hours, but our daytime Data Pi class. Jules and Audrey, are you all ready?
All right. Thank you very much. My name's Audrey Warner, and my partner is Jules. And today we're going to talk to you about the United Kingdom Railway System. So, table of contents, we're just going to go over our business problem first. So, looking at the question we wanted to answer, we looked at, is the United Kingdom railway system accessible, convenient, and reliable? Accessible are train stations located in populous areas. Convenient are train routes running at times when needed. Reliable, will the train get you to your destination on time and without delays? So the audience for this is rail passengers, daily commuters, tourists, others. Why do they care? Public transit can enable easy, affordable, and sustainable travel. Looking at our data, we had 3 sources that were main sources: the United Kingdom National Rail Data REST API. I'll cover that in detail on the next slide. We had the rail references data provided by Grand Circus, that was layman's terms, station names, and coordinate systems, so we could plot these on a map. And then we also went to an outside data source, the 2021 UK census population data. This was including only cities over 50,000 people. So big hitter here, the UK National Rail data. We collected data from 7.3 to 7.17. We collected over 500,000 rows of data. Interesting there are the route IDs, scheduled and actual arrival and departure times of trains, the delay status, and the rail station ID. So for our analysis, our first question, are train stations located in populous areas? So at the left, you can see UK city populations over 50,000. And then at the right, it's rail traffic by station. So key insights from these plots, UK's most densely populated areas have the highest train traffic. So in cities like London, Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow, the UK rail system is highly accessible. Next, looking at this plot, we have the top 20 most frequented rail stations in the UK, coded by color here. 19 of 20 of those top stations are within the Greater London area. That correlates with their population of 9 million. Our next largest city is Birmingham at 1.1 million. It only shows up on there once, so this correlates pretty well. Last, looking at the duration of our trip, so the average duration of trip by station, and then the distribution of duration. So as you can see by the box and whisker, half of all rail trips are under 1 minute, and most of those short trips are concentrated in the metropolitan areas.
Moving over into convenient, are train routes running at times when needed. Looking at the graph on the right, we can see that there's very few trains running between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And then looking at 6:30 to 10 p.m., we do have a nice consistent amount of trains running during that time period. Breaking that down further by each day of the week, the train availability was pretty consistent across weekdays. And then for weekend availability, this mirrored almost exactly the weekdays outside of an early morning dip in services on Sunday mornings. Breaking that down further, looking at reliability, will the train get to your destination on time? Our key insights from this was over 13% of all trains are delayed. And according to the UK Department of Transport, the top complaint about the rail system is actually related to delays, as you can see below, with almost 18% of complaints being related to reliability and punctuality. Breaking this down further, we just looked at the distribution of arrival delays and departure delays in minutes, and we did see that there was a strong concentration of shorter delays. However, 75% of these delays were over 11 minutes long, which for a rail passenger might be significant and become a dissatisfier. Looking at further key insights for delays, we found that trains are 29% more likely to be delayed if the scheduled arrival time is between 12 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. That kind of related to our dip in availability from our graph on the left. And looking at when delays increase by 39% when the duration exceeds 4.5 minutes. So for longer trips, you're expected to see a greater chance of getting delayed. And we were also found it interesting to find out that the increase in traffic did not proportionally increase delays. Breaking down our results. So is the United Kingdom rail system accessible, convenient, and reliable? So accessible, yes. There are rail stations in all major UK cities correlating with the population density, as we saw before. Is it convenient? Also, yes. The rail system runs many trains most hours of the day. The only caveat of this might be if you are a late night commuter working night shifts. Reliable, however, we said no. Over 13% of trains are delayed, and those delays can be pretty significant. So travelers considering the UK rail system must evaluate what factors are most important to their travel. If delays are not a huge concern, travelers will find the UK rail system an accessible and convenient mode of transportation. However, if reliability and timeliness is important to the traveler, other options you might want to consider. So looking at further considerations, we see areas for improvement would be expanding the data collection period. This would just provide more comprehensive understanding of the system's performance overall. And then also evaluating cost and safety, including this in the analysis would just offer travelers a more holistic view of the service, and then comparing alternative travel options with other forms of transportation like air, bus, and car would kind of help travelers make better informed decisions for themselves. So that was our presentation. Thank you so much. All of our contact information is listed on this slide. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat.
Awesome. Great job, Daytime Data Pie group. Next, we are going to transition over to one of our after-hour C#.net groups, which is going to, they're going to showcase their national park rating app.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Good.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, my name is Kyle Mundy. I'm part of the After Hours C#.net team, and we, like Charlene said, we made a national park tracker app, and my group members were Jared O'Grady, Jessica Gates, myself, and Madeline Darden. Basically, what we wanted to accomplish, we wanted to make an application where more or less a passport, but for national parks. So I'll just go ahead and read the description here. Oh, that's good. The National Park Tracker app is a comprehensive guide to exploring America's national wonders. It enables users to explore national parks across the country by allowing them to search detailed information about each park, create a wish list for future visits, and track parks that you've already conquered. It's a great way to connect with nature and plan a memorable outdoor adventure. Just kind of a background for what we use for APIs for this project. We used the National Park API, which pulled all the information about each park, as well as the Google Maps API to display where these national parks are located. And I'll kind of show you that once I get into the program itself. So yeah, this is our application. Like I said, you'll go ahead and just search by what state or what park you're looking for. So I'll just go ahead and search Arizona, and this will display each of the national parks that are located in Arizona. So the first thing I'll show you is the details of each park. And again, this is pulled in from the National Parks API, including the map from the Google Maps API. Up top's our description of each of the park itself, and we have drop downs for all the activities that this park has to offer, as well as the park hours and any exceptions to these park hours, whether it's different seasons might have different hours. So all that's located in the details section. Go back to the next feature I want to show is the wish list feature, and that's basically just kind of this is a park I'm interested in visiting. So if we go ahead and click wish list here, we'll get a message saying this is added to our wish list, and in our dashboard over here, it will populate as a park that we're looking to we're looking to visit in the future. If I go back, let's go to Michigan this time. The next feature I want to show is the visited. So say this is, we've been to Isle Royal. You can get your date picker, leave a message about your experience with that park. So Sweet Park, I don't know. And then we'll get in our dashboard, we'll get it'll show that we visited this park, when we visited, and we have a park badge as well. As you can see right here, it'll show the
and power out. So that progress bar will show out of the 497, I think it was 497. It was a little too quick for me to actually see, but out of the 497 parks, how many you've actually visited gives you that kind of goal to kind of achieve towards. So after that, we're all set. So
Awesome. Thanks, Jared, for saving the day there. But also great job there. Corey, I'll pass it over to you to introduce our next group. Sorry, I was muted. You're okay. Our next group is we have our Data Pie After Hours, we have Rodrigo, we have Cole, and we have Clay.
Hello, everyone. I am Rodrigo Zagara, and I worked alongside Cole Jenkins and Clay Parker on this project. The question we wanted to answer when doing this project is, when is the best time to travel to New York? Now, saying the best is very subjective, and that can change from person to person. So we had to find the metrics that we wanted to use to qualify what is the best time. The two metrics that we decided upon was cost and weather. We found that these metrics are what people tend to use when it comes to traveling, especially when you're traveling to a city like New York that is historically expensive. We kind of decided to tackle this question by looking at data that is in regards to airlines, hotels, Airbnbs, and the weather. The data we got came from sources like Kaggle, as well as the US Department of Transportation. And we used a weather API from Open Meteor to get as much weather information as possible. Once we compiled all the data sets, it really just came down to cleaning up said data sets, making sure we were only looking at relevant information. And once we compiled everything, the end goal was to use these data sets to find specific information on price, weather, and just month to month and day to day information regarding flights and everything like that. Now I will hand this over to Clay for some actual data analysis. Or my apologies, Cole.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Cole Jenkins, and I'm going to kind of go through some of our analysis. So as what Rodrigo is going through, some of the main points that we wanted to focus on whenever traveling is really, it kind of boils down to price and weather, and that kind of boils down as well even farther as to, are you more concerned about price, weather, hotels, or Airbnb? There's a variety of ways to look at it, so we took an overview to kind of find the answer for either if you're taking a hotel trip or if you're taking a trip through Airbnb. This first graph is going to be showing the average temperature as well as the total rain and total snow by inches during each of the months. This is going to kind of give you a rough average as to what to expect whenever you are going to be traveling into New York, especially in the earlier months of the year and the latter half of the year as well. You can kind of see either the rain or the snowfall kind of peaking towards that little 6-month range, as well as shockingly, the least amount of rain being in June as the temperature starts to pick up as well, getting into the mid 60s, which is kind of at least what I would consider a comfortable spot whenever I am traveling around. Clay, if you want to go ahead and scroll down for me, please. And this next chart is going to be displaying New York City hotel prices by month. For this data in particular, we found a data set pertaining from the government that had all of the hotels in the country and their prices and some more information about them. What we wound up doing was factoring in all the national info, then factoring in the difference of New York's price compared to the national average, creating that data to get an estimate of the New York City hotel prices by month. And so that kind of showed the estimated cost throughout the month. In the middle of the summer, it was generally more expensive. And then through Airbnb as well, it varied drastically, especially whenever you're going through the different boroughs as well. Manhattan is fairly more expensive than the rest of them, and then they kind of average out, and with the Bronx being at the lower percentile of that. But you can also see as well the price per room and room type also varies drastically depending on if you're looking for a private room, a shared room, or if you're looking for an entire house or apartment. And this graph right here is showing the counts of severity for weather. So this is going to essentially be if there was any form of, intense fog, intense snow, rainfall, wind. This took the severity counts of weather cases by each month to give you an estimated of what type of weather to kind of expect as you're going through and how intense it could be. You can see, especially around the month of May, it gets pretty severe, especially with some of the rain that was coming through, and that data will also show in the next chart as well. So this is going to be a chart showing the two major airports in New York, LaGuardia and the JFK airport. It's going to show the number of flights delayed due or having weather delays by each month, kind of gauge whenever the best time to travel is on that front, as well as also something that we looked at, kind of looking closer, especially towards, September and October. There's actually a shocking amount of weather delays, and which is pretty interesting to see compared to the actual rain and severity indexes that we looked at as well. It just seemed that the rain came at worst times or inopportune for the flights and caused more flights to be missed rather than flights at different hours of the evening and morning.
So from the data that we gathered and the analysis that we ran a conclusion based off of the visualizations and our analysis. Instead of reading this word for word, I'll just kind of show again what Cole was explaining. For the visualizations, when we're looking at temperature by month, obviously most people who are traveling and going on vacation probably don't want to travel to the city where it's very cold and you have snow, wet rain, wet weather. So we based upon this first visualization, feel like once the temperature starts to warm up, generally between months of May and October, in terms of temperature and less amount of snow and rain, there's more preferable seasons for people to travel. Breaking it down again by cost during those months, we also realized that the most expensive times of the year are June and July for hotel prices in New York. Makes sense with most people being on summer vacation then, traveling with their families, which means that May and then late summer, early fall offer better opportunities to travel. And then if we broke it down more in terms of the severity of the weather that was expected during those months, and this showed, as Cole also mentioned previously, that May and October were two of the highest indicators of severe and really heavy and light weather events, which indicated that more so around July and August, based upon the data that we analyzed, was when you had less frequency of weather events. And then also looking at the airlines, JFK and LaGuardia, in terms of frequency of how many airplanes were delayed. August was among the summer and fall months, had the lowest average among all those months. Based upon that visualization analysis, our conclusion was then that August, based upon weather, flight delay, and hotel prices, August is the best month if you want to travel to New York. So if you're going to travel to New York, you better do it next month. And that's our presentation.
Awesome, great job. Next, we're going to go back to a C# group, C#.NET group, this time coming out of our daytime class. That's Jack, Victoria, and Ramses. Take us away, friends.
All right, this is our website, Elden Build. This website is targeting the Elden Ring community, as well as people that might be interested in the game. As far as we know, there's currently no platform available for sharing your builds with the community. And yeah, that's it for me. I'd like to hand it off to Ramses to talk more about the project.
Yep. So the entire goal of our website is to create and share builds, and what better way to introduce it than to just start creating our own. So for builds, there's a lot of different variables and factors that come into play when you're designing one. So I'm gonna go based off the first build that I did when I played Elden Ring. So as you can see, we can go through and search for many things. This is a big game. So we can add each of our armors, our class, our weapons. We have many different weapons to choose from of many different categories. I use a great sword. I use this one right here. And then, of course, we have a lot of options here as well. But if we search down, we can find the exact one I use, no problem. We also have this feature of obtaining a random one. So if we were to use it, get a random one, we could get, oh, look, perfect, a random hammer talisman, and we could also put that in our build as well. So we just keep going, adding different items to our build. And then this is about what I had when I played through the game. I did not use any spells, but of course there's a giant list of spells to choose from. And I will call this first playthrough. Oh, I spelled it wrong. And I will create the build. Our build has been submitted, and now if we go to our home or our profiles, we can see our builds now showing up, and we have the option to update and delete the build in case we forgot anything or wanted to remove it.
And you can also see the builds in the all builds page, where it shows anyone who's created an account, or anyone who's logged into Google. Once they're logged in, then they can save a build, and that build gets displayed on this page, and everyone can see all of the builds that everyone's made, which I think is super cool. You can also favorite a build. It can be from anyone's build. So if you favorite it and then go back to the home page, then you can see a list of all the builds that you just favorited. And so we didn't get to this, but if we did have more time, we would have also liked to add a details page that would go more in depth about the builds. For example, some items are special and have unique attributes, so it would be nice if users could see that extra bit of information when they go to look into a build. We would also like a feature where they can comment on builds they've had in game and give feedback, sort of like a forum. Those are a couple of our stretch goals, and that concludes our presentation. So if you have any questions, you can put in the chat. Thank you for watching our presentation.
All right, sorry. I keep putting myself on mute. All right, good job, y'all. Like I said, that's my husband's dream app. Uh, so the next group that we have is from Daytime JavaScript. Am I saying that? Am I on the right group, Charlene? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. Let me go back.
I think I confused myself.
Yes, you are correct. Tyler's group. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yep. So we have Daytime JavaScript. We have Tyler, Nicholas, Yulia, and please, Matt, can you pronounce your name? I would love to pronounce your name correctly. Matt.
Sure. Manogna. Manogna.
Manogna. Okay, got it. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I pronounced it right.
Hello and welcome to Planet Plate, the plate that is designed to help you save lives and help the environment. Like me, friendly little cow here. Let me just, okay, this is the real me, I'm sorry. So this app is a meal planner that allows you to sign into Google. And there we go, I'm signed in. Got my little profile picture over here. And basically, you can look up recipes that you're interested in. But you can search by ingredients or any keyword. It's going to give you all vegetarian or vegan recipes, depending on if you check this box or not. I'm a vegan personally, so I'm going to check that box here. I'm going to look up rice because I love rice. And this looks good to me. You can favorite recipes. You can read more about them. Gives you an extensive list of how many calories, protein, and what percentage of your daily requirements of vitamins and minerals. But yeah, you can also add it to plate. And I'm feeling in the rice mood, so I'm gonna add some more rice to my plate. All vegan. And yeah, maybe we can have Manogna take it away for our goals page. Or sorry, our favorites page.
Sure. So we thought it'd be a good idea for people to keep track of the recipes that they've looked up already that they like, so that they can repeat them if they wish. So we created a favorites page that lists all the recipes that you've clicked the heart on. So every time I sign back in to this page, I will see my favorites stored here, so I can cook them again and enjoy them. Maybe I'll pass this to Nick to explain the nutrition tracker.
Yeah, so here we've got our nutrition tracker page. where you see we have a graph here of our macros, and it just lets you know like what percentage of your calories from what macros you're getting that day. We also have a table here where we have our goals, our calorie goals. It just keeps track of it, of what our goals are and what we've consumed for that day. As you can see, Tyler has exceeded his goals for everything. So he gets this red box that lets him know what he's exceeded. And then under the Today tab, it lets you know the calories that you've consumed, and it also shows you which recipes you have eaten in that day. So Tyler, if you scroll up, it also gives you the option to add a custom meal. So this here is just a form. If you ate a recipe that wasn't from the app, you can input the calories here and add it to your tracker.
Real sick. It shows up right here. I clicked it twice.
Yep. All right, that looks good. I will now pass it off to Yulia to talk about the goals page.
Yeah, so on our goals page, the user can include information about themselves, like height in feet or inches, weight, age, sex, exercise level, what goal they pursue, like if they want to maintain weight, if they want to lose weight, if they want to gain weight. And depending on that, our calorie calculator and nutrition calculator will calculate their nutrition goal. And of course, user can always update it. And this information will be transferred to nutrition tracker.
Yep, that information all comes here to our pie chart. And yeah, that concludes our presentation and our functionality. Thank you so much. Feel free to leave a message in the chat if you have any questions. And yeah, I'll just respond to the message. We can all respond to the message. If you guys have any questions, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. And that app looked beautiful. So congratulations, group. Next, we're going back to Data Pi with our daytime class, and we have the duo of Brianna and Riley.
Hi, everyone. So as part of Data Pi, we are actually all analyzing the rail systems in the United Kingdom. So today, Riley and I are going to talk about, first, we're going to review the business problem, take a look at our data, look at the analysis, and then give you some recommendations. The following data was pulled from the UK system, and it was extracted last week, reading data from 7/10 to 7/14, so last Wednesday to this Wednesday. It pulled station, route, and train information. In theory, this analysis is intended for scheduling prediction purposes, mainly directed towards the use of station, train, and regional operators. And we'd also like to note that no data was collected on Saturday.
So I can talk about our business problem a little bit. So we wanted to really ask the question, are the UK train, station, and regional operators equipped to predict delays and cancellations? And this can include, limited delays and cancellations. Does the trains meet passenger demand? And does it meet operational efficiency? So, all right, and some of our data points with our data set, we have about 108,000 total trains running, about 8,000 delays, 28,000 routes,
and 2,300 stations and 5 regions serviced.
So the first question we're asking is, when are trains most frequently delayed? So you can see from the graphs here, train departures are most frequent during the evening, so around 3 to 7 p.m. And the increased volume of departures during these times can contribute to a higher likelihood of delays, as shown in the above graph, where each day of the week frequents delays mostly in the evenings. On the two comparison graphs, now while Tuesday has the highest number of departures, it also has a significant number of delays. And despite having few departures, Friday has the highest number of delays. And why departures may be more frequent in the evening, you ask? Maybe because of evening rush hour. Workers are looking to commute home around 4 to 7 p.m. Maybe worker flexibility, such as workers in industries like healthcare, hospitality, and manufacturing may require a later night train. And things such as social events like dining, concerts, movies, happy hour, or they're all popular evening activities.
All right, do train cancellations correlate with our departure hour? So we found that approximately 22% of our trains were canceled, whereas if your train was delayed, there's a 2.5% chance about if your train would have been canceled. Plotting the cancellations by the hour of day here on the scatter plot initially appears similar to the distribution of the train departure frequency. However, further calculations show that it's about a negative 0.016 correlation. So there's almost no correlation between the two variables. And while one might infer that the noticeable spike in train cancellations from 2 to 5 p.m. Maybe due to increased demand in departures, the data doesn't support a strong correlation there. All right, and do the most popular stations also have the most delays? So we found that Clapham Junction is the most frequently visited station. As a major transport hub, Clapham services the most densely populated residential areas in southwest London and is in close proximity to many businesses and commercial districts. So this is a big reason why it has a high passenger demand. With such a high demand, it is expected to maintain higher operational efficiency, just to mitigate a domino effect of delays, which can happen frequently. And we also found that positively there's no overlap in the top 10 most frequently visited stations and stations with the highest delays, which is good to hear.
And the last question we asked was, can we predict if and how long a train will be delayed based on its station? So here we actually built a model to try to predict. First, we show a heat map. It displays the correlation between various time variables, such as actual arrival hour, planned arrival hour. Our focus is on the positive correlation, so that would be the red regions. If a train is delayed, we're also looking at its arrival or departure times. And we also built a logistic regression model to predict if a train will be late. We received a 92% accuracy. The model was stronger in predicting correctly if a train wasn't going to be delayed. If a delay was predicted, there is a 40% chance that that train will actually be delayed. And while a higher accuracy in these models is generally good, given the low instances of not delayed in the data set, it could appear to have an imbalance in data, which would also impact the model's ability to correctly identify delays. When prospective passengers were to check train schedules, it's better to incorrectly predict a delay rather than no delay at all.
All right, so some of our recommendations we have. Overall, we recommend we gather a little bit more data to identify patterns that may affect delays, cancellations, departure frequency. We can use other APIs such as weather, data such as station foot traffic, local event data. Additionally, we recommend increasing train frequency between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., as that's when generally trains are most frequented, especially on Fridays to accommodate evening rush hour, night shift workers, and other evening events. We also recommend identifying factors contributed to the high volume of train departures and delays on Tuesdays, which we saw was an issue. And also to use the morning dead hours for maintenance and things of that nature. So
Thank you. That's our presentation.
Good job, you all. Awesome, awesome. Now our next group that we have is from After Hours JavaScript with Maya and Gregory.
Hi, everyone. We're Maya and Greg from the JavaScript After Hours Bootcamp January cohort of 2024. We're super excited to present our project, the Packing Planner app. If you've ever dealt with the frustration of trying to figure out what to pack when preparing for a trip, you're definitely not alone. We wanted to try to eliminate that frustration, which is why we created our app. Our packing planner app takes the hassle out of packing by providing personalized lists based on your trip details and your weather forecasts. So we can dive into the features. Our app starts with a simple search form where you can name your trip, select its duration, and choose the location. So for our trip example, we're calling it our graduation trip. We're traveling to Bradenton, Florida, and we're traveling for 3 days. Once you submit the form, it creates a new trip and gives you a weather preview so that you know what to expect during your travels. After creating the trip, you have the option to start packing. You'll be redirected to a packing list form where you can see the full weather forecast for your trip and a suggested packing list. This packing list is automatically populated based on the weather, but you can customize it to suit your preferences. Once you're done changing your preferences, you can hit save and you'll be redirected back to the home page.
And once you've already started packing and have accessed it, this start packing will switch to a view packing list to where you have multiple options. You can come back in here and you will see all your weather data again. If you want to go and edit something, this will take you back to the form. You can change anything you want. Your duration is already filled in. Once you're done again, you go ahead and click save. The trip will save. Also from there, once you have everything finalized you want to, if you want to go ahead and print it out, you just go to our print view and it'll give you a nice view with the weather on top and a checkbox with every single thing that you need to pack along the way. Also, once you're done, you can go ahead and click that your trip has been completed. When doing so, you'll be notified that your trip has been marked as completed. And we have a secondary previous trips log, which will show all your previous trips that have been completed in the past here. If you accidentally fat finger something and click the trip completed and you meant to hit edit packing or whatever, you can go ahead and restore the trip and it'll give you a notification up here that your trip's been restored. You can head back to the home page and it'll come back up here. Now, if you put in this trip and sadly it got canceled, you can go ahead and click remove and it will go away forever. You'll be notified as well that the trip has been deleted. And also, we know in today's world, it's not as likely that you'll be in a browser that you'll be on your phone. So we also optimized the viewing for the iPhone nowadays that everyone loves to use. So it is fully usable on your mobile app without any ugliness. It's beautiful. So I thank you and I appreciate you guys for watching our demo and happy travels.
All right, awesome. Great job, group. Next, we're flipping right back to DataPi, but this time with one of our after-hour groups, and that'll be Shanadia, Jay, and Haley.
Right, hello. This is I know it's the whole theme here of railways, but we're doing our railway system on the US. Just I think the top 5 cities that we found and this presentation. Okay, so public transportation is vital for urban development, reducing traffic and environment. And while impact improving residents' quality of life, our focus light rail systems defined by the FTA as urban transit on exclusive right-of-way tracks. For frequent service stems from personal experience with their benefits limitations. We aim to evaluate the best light rail systems in the U.S. by analyzing cost, safety to highlight exemplary models and understand their success factors. And I will pass this on to Jay.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna go deep into like the three data sources that we used. One, we made one where we scraped all the fares from each of the 23 light rails that we found that were ideal in the US. We grabbed the wages or like the fares of a single trip, 1 day pass, and a bulk buy. I'll go into more detail on that later. And then we got a safety data. This list spans from 2008 to 2023. It lists like the total number of collisions, derailments, total injuries, and fatalities. And then the third one, which is used in conjunction with the fares data later on, is from 1991 from 2022. It uses the directional route miles, which is DRM, and vehicle operating and max service VOMs to understand like how much the reach or like how much the light rail can reach for that specific city. And then later on, we have weather data API to see any ridership correlation with any precipitation, whether it be rain or anything else. So to go further on into like the data, safety and cost is the primary source to understand like what makes a light rail good in our eyes. So for example, there's a ticket cost for Hampton Roads, which is $2. Commuter option is a monthly pass, which is like $70. And then the length of the system for that city is like 7.4 miles. And if we wanted to calculate that, it'll be $2.33 a day and 27 cents per mile. And we assigned ranking for each of the three data sets for like distance, safety, and fares to rank them better. For example, like if it had like 5 collisions, let's say 5 collisions is the max, though it'll be ranked like a 4. So higher the number, the worse the light rail is. So lower the number you want to be, that you want to be. So in our data, we found that Hampton, Virginia is number 1, Phoenix, Arizona is number 2, Buffalo, New York, number 3, St. Louis is number 4, and Cleveland, Ohio is number 5. And ironically, I'd say Charlotte, we're from Charlotte, 2 of us are from Charlotte, and Charlotte should have been ranked 5, but it was a tie between Cleveland and Charlotte, and Cleveland did have the less number of injuries. So this is just a quick data transformation of what we had. And you can see like we had like the single ticket cost rank, dollar per mile rank, cost score, collision rank, derailment rank. So, and then we added all up the whole numbers, and that's how we got the top 5.
So to do some of that extra exploration that we wanted to do, looking at ridership, some of that weather stuff, all that, we were able to get our cleaned data sets into SQL so that we could make a direct connection to Power BI. That way, if we needed to update anything in our data sets, we could do it cleanly, and then those updates would be reflected in the Power BI report. So for our first main question, we wanted to evaluate, we can go ahead and go to the next slide. We wanted to look at just ridership in each of our top 5 cities over time, just get a better feel for that. So we can see very clearly in this graph that all 5 of the top 5 light rails saw a decrease in 2020, which, I mean, we can pretty much all probably assume that was due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The light rail in St. Louis had the biggest ridership. That's the blue line there, light blue line. until 2016 when Phoenix surpassed it. That's the pink line there, that little crossover event. And then interestingly, in the next slide, when we took a look at the lengths of the light rails over the last 30 years or so, we noticed that Phoenix had some development done in 2016, which was when we saw them overtake St. Louis for the most ridership. So we can't like for sure correlate the two variables. We didn't quite get that far into the analysis. More research would be needed, but it was an interesting find there.
So in terms of like safety, we like split it up between total injuries, collision, derailment, and total fatalities. So for like injury wise, you don't want to be in St. Louis. Derailment, you'll be surprised to see like Cleveland of all places, they spiked in 3 different years. And collision, I'd say it's a little 50-50 because like whenever trains they switch cabins and stuff, sometimes the trains would like touch each other and like that would be considered a collision. So collisions you can see in the other cities, they're not as prevalent as Cleveland, but we can see in fatalities like for these cities, even though they're like the top 5 ranked in terms of cost and safety, it's pretty sporadic for what you can see.
Okay, and then we also add in a API for this project. So leverage weather API to explore relationships between ridership and precipitation. Required parameters we looked into was the longitude and latitude and the date range. Grab daily rainfall for the top 5 cities from 2008 to 2023. Merge API and ridership data sets to the top 5 cities with the weather data set. That's part of the process of the data clean that was done. And summarize daily rain to annual rainfall for each city into 5 line stack column charts, which I'll show on the next slide. So these are the line stack charts for all of the 5 top cities that we have picked. Some of the spikes you can see like from each city depending on the year. So like right here, this will be for St. Louis. It was about year maybe like 2016. It had the highest in rainfall of that time. And this is Hampton. So the highest here was around like 2018. This is Phoenix. This didn't really have a highest one. It just kind of like fluctuated a little bit in between. So it wasn't really a big spike there. And probably the most highest spike that we had was in Cleveland in that year, like around like in the 2020. And this concludes our presentation. And thank you.
Good job, y'all. That was our after hours data pie group 2 group. Good job, good job. Our next group is it Kira or Kyra?
It's Kira.
Kira, okay. Kira, Claire, and Ramsey, they're from daytime and they are from the C# class.
I think Ramsey might be muted.
I'm muted. I should have it figured out by now, right? So I'm Ramsey, and I worked on this project with Kira and Claire, and we created the Prioritizer, which is an app made for people who procrastinate to help organize their lives. So when you get to our landing page, you can see we have the current date listed, and an example list of tasks. It gives you an opportunity to mess around with the functionality of our app. So you have the option to mark a task as completed, or you can go ahead and delete a task as well. But if you want to add your own, you can go ahead and log in. And as you can see, I already have some tasks in my list, but I can go ahead and add some more. So I was able to add a task, a date, a deadline, and a detail. And all our tasks are ordered by date. So the one that needs to be completed the soonest will always be at the top.
And then we have the next part. That's our the next section of our app is kind of focused on needing inspiration for the task that we have to do every day, which is make dinner. And you can basically create a list of ideas that you can select from here. If you can't think of anything, we have a selection where that comes over here. You hit recipe and it'll give you a random recipe. This comes from an API call with a whole bunch of stored recipes. And if you can't decide if you like it, you could just keep hitting shuffle. When you find one you like, if you decide you want to, the ingredients are all showing right here so you can see what might be in it. You click add this meal and it'll go right to your list. And say you decided you made something and you don't really like it, you can just take it off the list, or you can favorite the ones that you like to make. And then if you want to put something on the list that you know how to make, it's one of your favorite things, you just want to have it there. You can also just add a meal yourself. You don't have to put an URL. You can put a URL if you want to. Then it just adds it to the list and you can see it there as your list of suggestions, your list of like inspirations for your meal to make that day. And that's about the main functionality of that. You can also hide it and show it as needed. I'm gonna let Kira show our next section here for our header.
So up at the top here, you can get the weather every day too. I'll come in with the icon. But let's say when I log in every day, I don't want to see the weather. We go to our profile. We can go ahead and choose what we'd want. We linked each of these with a separate external API. So let's say every day I want to come in, I want to get a quote. I can hit set display. And when I go back to home, the quote of the day will pop up. And then a lot of times we all don't stay on websites forever. And there's probably been one time in your life where you want to delete your Instagram. So we make it super easy for you to delete your account. It's just going to prompt you to make sure you want to delete your account. And once you hit delete account, navigate you back to the landing page. Of course, super easy to sign up again, just log in. Cool. And that's the base functionality of our app. If you have any questions, put them down in the chat.
All right, I think it's on me now. So next, we have our last data Python group that has not already gone, and that will be Brian's group.
Yeah. Hello everyone, our team is here to share our insights on UK National Rail Performance for the year 2024. To quickly go over the agenda, our team includes myself, Ilakya, Brian and Osman, and we are here to give a background of UK National Railways and the business question we are trying to solve, addressing the approach and insights that we gathered from our analysis, followed by a quick conclusion on the key insights that we gathered. So, UK National Railways is a densely network with around 2,500 stations in UK with approximately 1.8 billion passenger journeys per year, and it is managed by various train operating companies under franchises awarded by the government, which brings us to the business question, where our client of who's current board of UK National Railways, they wanted to understand the schedule performance in an overview, and they wanted to analyze the delay compensation efficiency by the train operating companies, and they want to build a delay prediction model to predict any delay in a scheduled train. So I invite Brian to share the approach that we took to solve this business question.
Yeah, so essentially here, this is our pipeline of data from our source here at the UK National Rail data portal, which we access their API. We built a data pipeline to take that data in and load it into a database that we hosted with AWS. Then we ended up loading that data in there and accessing it and using pandas to clean the data and using pandas and Power BI to analyze the data. So let's look at a little overview of our data, what is in our data. On the left, we have a list of the different columns we have. You can see we have over 400,000 data points for our data here. We got route ID, unique ID, service start date, the different times for arrival and departure, then is delayed arrival or departure. We as well created some new columns like longitude, latitude, delayed arrival or departure minutes, origin and destination, as well as gathering additional data about the operators and the delay compensation claims. And now I'll pass on to Osman to look into our data further.
Okay, so here we have the railways usage by public over the years. So in 2004, the railway started to get steady growth and then expanded substantially over the years. But once 2020 came around, it dropped rock bottom down very hard due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But after the pandemic passed, it began to slowly recover. And this basically highlights the prominence of the railways as the means of transportation in the UK. Next slide. So here you can see a heat map. So basically how a heat map works is that if the color is darker, that means the correlation is strong. If the color is lighter, that means the correlation is weak. And in this case, the correlation that we were investigating was delayed arrival time and delayed departure. And these two have a correlation of 1. And to validate this correlation, we have come up with a scatter plot. And this scatter plot suggests that the correlation of 1 is very strong, which means the departure delay influences arrival delay. Next slide. Okay, so on this graph, you can, so here is our first objective, which is the schedule performance overview. So on this graph, you can see that on time, there's about 91.3% trains that arrive on time to their destination, while 8.7% only arrive late. Next graph. And then here on this graph, you can see the average delay in minutes across each station. So the maximum average delay of 39 minutes is observed at the Delimar rail station. And now I'll pass it back to Alekia.
So we were also curious to see when the average delay occurs in a day. So we found that our peak average delay happened between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. In the day with an average maximum average delay of 39 minutes. And also we wanted to look how the average delay happens across the days of the month. So we collected data between 3rd July and 11th July, and we found the trend of peak average delays on alternate days of the week. So having given a scheduled performance overview, let's move to the second objective of analyzing the delay compensation efficiency. To understand the delay compensation efficiency, we identified which train operating companies are causing more delays, and we found that this London Northeastern Railway trains are delayed the most on an average from our analysis. So there is a option for passengers to apply for the delay compensation claims, and we found that around 96% of the delay compensation claims are closed by these particular train operating company, that is London Northeastern Railways, ensuring the customer satisfaction user experience. But to compare between different train operating companies in serving for the customers in improving their user experience, we came across a hindrance that there is a non-delay compensation policies set by these train operating companies, which hinders us in assessing the customer service efficiency in improving user experience. We would suggest that this is something that the board can consider in making the delay compensation policies uniform across all the train operating companies for improving the user experience. And I invite Brian to explain the delay prediction model.
Okay, so our third objective was to create a delay prediction model to predict delay among our scheduled trains. We ended up using the train length, operator, and journey time columns to create this model, and we had an accuracy of 91.25% in predicting delay. If you look on the right there, we have a list of the coefficients for each factor. The larger the positive coefficient, the more it helped to predict delay, whereas if it's a larger negative coefficient, you can see it predicts no delay. So the biggest predictor for delay is journey time. We found that longer journey times equals more delays, as well as Operator C2C being the biggest predictor and no delay. So if it was a CDC run train, that means there was most likely not a delay involved. Now, let's do our key insights here of our whole project. We see that there is a public usage of UK railways is about 3 billion. We look at the delay metrics about every day, about 8.7% of trains are delayed. Every day, there's a peak delay of 39 minutes between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. Alternate days seem to have higher delay amounts. The most delayed operator is London Northeastern Railway, and the most influential factor is in predicting delay is the journey time. So thank you to Grand Circus and everyone. That's our project. Thank you all for listening.
All right, that was our last Data Pi group. So give it up to everyone that's in our Data Pi classes. You all did an awesome job and everyone was organized, and I love you all's presentation and how clean it looked. So collectively, Data Pi, you are the MVPs. All right, our next group, we have our last daytime C# class, and it's going to be with Pedro, Ben, and Shaitan. Is it Shaitan?
Yeah, it's Chetan.
Okay, Shaitan. Okay.
Hey, Pedro, you're muted. You're still muted.
Hello, everybody can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, so let me start here over again. So really our app is trying to answer the question, why would you walk in there, basically? Are you tired of the car salesman experience, the used cars salesman experience? To solve this, we created Cars by Owner, a C# Angular app. It's widely accepted that buying a car from a private seller provides lower pricing in general, since private owners don't have to worry about employee salaries and overhead. Your buying power increases by not buying higher taxes as well. Our app translates into more bargaining power because dealerships don't always have to cover their fixed costs. This means a simpler transaction that can be done from the comfort of your own home. There are no costs to sign up for, to buy or to sell. With our app, you can even find if your prospective buyer or car is close to you. All you have to do is provide the car make, the car model, the car year, and we supply a list of cars to choose from. Simple and easy registration, and Ben is here to show you more.
Okay, so when you first get to our website, you can see a list of all of our auctions. So you can see we have quite a few cars listed here. So there's some basic information on the cars, the current bid, status, so elapsed, sold, or active. The auction ended without any bids being placed. Someone bought the car, and then these are the active ones. And you can also filter to only see the active auctions. So if you are looking to buy a car, you can have just the active ones. However, I want to sell a car. Now, if I go to sell a car, it's going to tell me to please register to sell your car. And so I'm going to go to registration, and it's going to say register as a new user. So we authenticate using Google Login. But we need some more information from the user to be able to register them with us. So I'm just going to put in my address. And I have now registered. So now if I go to sell your car, I see the options to put in make, model, and year. So I am going to sell a Ford Focus from 2015, sure. And I hit submit. And this will bring up all of the possible configurations for this make, model, and year. And so you can choose your car based on this information. So we don't have to get all this from the user. So I'm going to say this one, and we get some more fields that populate down here. So I'm going to put in the color. Got 130,000 miles on it. I'm going to grab the image. Starting bid, I think 15,000 is fair. And then I'm going to set a start date and end date for the auction. So start today at, well, let's say it already started. And then we'll end a little over a week from now. And if I save this, you can now see that the purple Ford Focus is now listed, and someone can place a bid on it. And I'm going to let Chetan show you how we do that.
Thanks, Ben. So moving forward with it, I'm Chetan and I'll be demonstrating the bid functionality. So this is how our main page or the home page looks like. And since I'm a registered user, I could just log in via my Google. And here it says verifying. Now there are three different statuses depending upon auction. Elapse, which is when a car is auctioned, but it remains unsold. So it has different car detail page. So if I click on this page, it says there's no bid history attached. The seller distance and the auction end date and start date is located. Now let's say Ben auctioned a car and I wanna purchase that Ford Focus purple, which is bid on for starting bid is 15,000. I'll go in the details. At the very top, it says the amount of timer left, which is the displaying the time left for the auction to end. It says where the distance where the seller is located, and we use the third party API, which calculates the distance based on the two zip codes. I could place a bid. In order for me to place a bid, it needs to be at least $50 more than the last bid. So yeah, there was no starting, so I'll be placing more than $15 more than the starting bid. I did submit it, and if I go, I see a history of mine. So on the left, we have all the car details. On the right, we have the car image and the bid history. And the third and the most recent is where it says about the sold, where when a winner is assigned to a given car, let's say I was the highest bidder for the Mazda 3. Now in the sold detail page, this is how it looks like. It gives information about who's the seller email ID, as well as where he's located. And then I can contact him and get my car. And so this is cars by owners. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, alrighty. Last but not least, we have an after hours C#.net group, and they are going to be showing us their recruiting tracker app.
Thanks so much, Charlene. Hi, everyone. My name's Zach Perhonic. I'm part of the part-time C#.net After Hours Bootcamp, and I worked with Kevin, Wan Chu, and Vicky for our tech recruiting app called TechQuest Jobs. So we asked ourselves, what's a problem that we'd like to solve? And I think for a lot of us on that call would be, getting a job after we graduate. So that was our goal, to hopefully make that process a little bit easier for everyone. So diving into the app here, you can see one of the first things is looking for a job. So it's not specifically just for developers, it's for a lot of IT related jobs. But if myself, wanted to look for a developer job, I could just type in developer in the title. And let's say I was looking for a job maybe in Los Angeles. And when I search, it would show me, just a brief description of the job, the salary range, experience level they're looking for, things like the company name, and so on and so forth. If I felt like this job was a good fit for me, maybe it was close to my area, or it's just something I was interested in. We also have the ability to save a job, because that was one of the other parts. There's tons of programs or websites out there that already do a lot of this, but we also wanted to add some tracking features in as well, to help kind of manage that. So you're not just, applying to the same jobs, and you could track your recruiting journey as well. So if we navigate over to our saved jobs, These were just some that I felt like maybe I would be interested in, or maybe that I had the qualifications for. You can see we also have different statuses you can select. So again, kind of going back to the ability to update those and track them in real time. So if there was, if I had an interview scheduled, I could keep that on. And if I applied, I know where I'm at throughout that process. And I think that was one of the things you don't see a lot nowadays with some of the other ones like LinkedIn, and some of those other ones as well. One of the other features we wanted to implement was if you had to relocate, say, in one of these cases, maybe to San Francisco or San Diego, that you could search for the city as well and look at some attractions in said city. So if I typed in Los Angeles, if I could spell it, it'll show you some of the attractions in said city as well. So that was another big part of our application that we wanted to utilize as well. We did get all of our city information from a third-party TripAdvisor API. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get some data from something like LinkedIn or some of the big APIs that those companies use because they're very, very expensive. We saw some that were all the way up to about $1,000 a month. So we did have to use mock data for the jobs themselves, but we are pulling all of the external information from the TripAdvisor third-party API. I haven't really heard a lot of people say about things they struggled with, but I know for us, that was one of them. Getting, some good, reliable databases, especially for our jobs, that was one of the biggest struggles for us. I know that Git and GitHub can be a complicated process at times too, so that gave us some troubles, especially with our repo. We had to almost nuke one of our repos at one time, so that whole process can be, sometimes a pain. And some of the things we didn't have time to, but we wanted to add to our project was login account functionality. I know the last group just mentioned that, using Google, that's something that we definitely wanted to add it if we had a little bit more time. Some simple UI adjustments, maybe making the data look a little bit cleaner or, just making it look a little prettier, adding some additional functionality. And then, like I said before, maybe even adding some more external APIs into it if we had a little bit more time to research the project and get some better data in there as well. But yeah, that's TechQuest Jobs, our solution to trying to find some job in your industry, hopefully for a better future.
Good job, everyone. That was our last group for this evening. You all should be very, very proud of yourselves. All the presentations were awesome. And Charlene, do you want to add anything?
No, I'll just say congratulations to each and every one of you. Those in the after hours group, it's been a nice long 6 months, but it also kind of flew by as well. But again, congratulations on your journey. As Billy mentioned earlier, you should have your certificates in your email. Feel free to download them to save for your records. Your classroom Slack channels will live on forever, so you'll always have access to each other, as well as you'll still remain in all of the general Slack channels as well. So this does not have to be a goodbye. This is just a stop on your journey, and we encourage you all to stay connected with each other as well as Grand Circus staff members as well. So again, congratulations, and please do let us know if you have any questions or concerns. And if you did not submit your exit survey, please, please, please be sure to get that in before Monday, please. But again, congratulations and thank you all. That concludes our graduation.
Give yourself one more round of applause. You all have a good one and take care. Hey, Charlene, I think Billy said in order to, we have to end the whole meeting instead of just leaving, leaving the meeting so we can
Stop recording. Oh,
Yeah, stop the recording for the YouTube stream. But for me, it's saying leave
For me,
meeting.
it just says leave.
I think because
I see. Oh, I see. Neither one of us are a co-host. Uh-oh.
he said he made us. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let
Yeah, I
me.
see that he still is sort of like in here. Madeline, you're free to exit.
Yeah.
Shoot. Uh-oh. I wonder if we can get a hold of him.
Yeah. Let me message him right now.
Okay.
Okay, I just messaged him.
Okay.
Yeah. See, let me see what I can do. Hmm. Hopefully he responds in like the next like 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't think he would have to make us co-host in order for see meeting, you edit. Let me see. I send a message in the group message chat we're in, but let me see if I individually messaged. Yeah, because it's just weird because he said he made us co-host. But I wonder if it's because he's still, yeah, because
You
he's
know
still,
what? We were co-hosts because I was admitting some people in, but all I but I don't have an option to stop recording though.
yeah, which is,
And it's strange because it says we're live on YouTube. So if we both leave, it's not going to.
yeah, it's not gonna like, because that's what he was saying, like if we don't end it, like, because it will leave him. So like we would have to end the meeting to stop the streaming, because right now, if we just leave the meeting, it's
I
still
see
be
what you're saying. It'll still be his profile in there. Yeah, so if we can get him to leave, then
yeah.
get it.
Yeah, because I see what
I
he was.
wonder what if I hit. Oh, I can't remove him because I don't have the privilege.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, can we remove him? But okay, let me see if I could stop. No, I can't stop. There's nothing for me to stop the recording. Okay, I've stopped video. No, that's for me. Services. Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to see me type in. Let's see. Excuse me.
Oh man, I hope he responds. I need to run to the bathroom.
I know.
Cause yeah, it's only giving me the option to leave. If I had his cell number, I would text him, but I do not have his cell.
I know. And what's so messed up is this is what he was concerned about. But I think yeah, I wish I had his number too. Let me see if I could find his number somewhere in the drive. Oh wait. Oh yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, let me check
Is his number in his Slack profile?
It could be. Let me see.
I really hope that nobody's watching this stream over. I'm just back and forth.
Oh yeah. I'm about to, okay. I'm texting right now.
Okay. Oh, my computer gonna die too.
Where's it going? Okay. I hope this is his number, but it was the number I saw in his profile. That's weird though. Yeah, because I'm labeled as co-host.
Yeah, but it was weird because we were before, because like I said, I was admitting some people in. So that part is weird to me.
Oh, wait, no, you know what? I'm not even a co-host. You are yeah, you're a co-host.
It only gives me the option to leave the meeting.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not co-host because I don't have any privileges. Like I can't remove either one of y'all. Like I don't have any, I'm looking at all the privileges right now.
Yeah.
Like it's letting me share screen if I want to share screen, but it's just giving me the leave meeting option. That's it. It's not giving me any other.
It must be something in his settings.
Yeah, because like right now I definitely see that we're still live on
Yeah. Well,
what's the name?
I say let's give it another couple minutes.
Yeah.
If not, it's just, I mean, the worst that it's gonna happen is just his profile is gonna be on live, but um yeah, that's probably the worst part.
Yeah, I really hope he sees your text message.
No. I'm trying to see if it delivered too. Hold on.
Okay, my computer is about to die and I need to run and get the charger and I need to run to the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me go ahead and then I'll just stay updated in our group chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, bye.